All right, this is box 4. Now, there's 2 boxes in which I kind of looked through and was going to show, but I mean, it's DC Comics Presents, which I'm keeping all of them, and an animated box, so it's full of stuff from animated stuff. So I was like, nah, there really, it's gonna slow me down if I can look at a box and see that there's nothing in there to purge. But if you want me to show it, I'll show them. I don't want to not show certain books just because I look at them and think that they won't, it won't be anything to purge because I've already done that with a couple of boxes. So just let me know. And like I said, uh, I'm trying to keep it down so I can kind of go through. Like I said, I showed you the stack of what I got so far to purge. I'm hoping to start bumping into more stuff because I really do need to thin things down. So, um, King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. This is an animated series that they did. 3 issues as seen on TV. It is the direct of that. Here is number 2 of that. Now, here's where we get into my debate. Is do I keep my Kid Colt Outlaw the ones from this period, or just keep more of the ones from the period of the Bronze Age? I'm kind of thinking in terms of more Bronze Age Western because, as you see here, more of those fit into my time frame. So what I may do is, like I said, even though I hate to, old Gil Kane there, is get rid of the ones, but it's very hard to look at. I'll see. I'm kind of debating on those, whether I want to get rid of the older. And again, it's just, I collected some Western, but not an overabundance of. So, and even though they're good stories, I'm kind of at a point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull both these and put them in my purge pile. Again, I'm going to go through all my stuff at the end and see exactly what I want to do with them. Now, this is not going to be as much a purge. I was still purging, but this next set of books is really going to go to my brother. He played football, and the Kicker Inc. character is a football player. There's 2 number 1s, number 2, number 3. One I know he'd really like, number 4, in the newsstand there, number 5, and number 6. So those will be going out of my box and going into the pile to my brother more than it is about purging it. So now, Lobo Roadrunner, like the Lobo, just are like Roadrunner, but just don't really care for Lobo. So again, keep it for the Warner one. Now this is going to be a purge. That is the mix between, it's Lobo the Duck, which really means nothing to me, in a sense that I'm not a Lobo fan, and it's the Amalgam one. I got rid of all those except for the Batman one, so that'll go in my purge pile. Let's move that in my keep pile. Gonna keep the Calvin. Love the fro. Little genius. Little known fact, this is based out of my early life. if any of you laugh about that, we need to talk. Linus the Lionhearted, Little Monsters, definitely a keeper there. Now here comes one that I will probably go ahead and look to get rid of. It's not based out of what I know now. This is from Free Comic Book Day, Legend of Zelda. Now, if it's an older Zelda, like a Zelda, like the true Zelda that I remember from back in the day, I would, but this is a new version. Not really caring that much for it that way. Again, gotta keep the Lassie. Love some Lassie, because you know what? Jimmy's trapped in the well. You gotta save. And look, even better. How about that Lassie from Golden Press? Look how thick that is. Yeah, that's a big Lassie. So you gotta love that Lassie. So again, got some to give my brother, some that's gonna be kept, some that's gonna be gotten rid of. So we're kind of on a roll here. Lidsville, crazy show. Gotta just love that. Lone Ranger, definitely a Western I will keep because I grew up watching the Lone Ranger. And now, speaking of old, I'd like to wish Shannon a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Shannon. I know it's your birthday. I know how old you turn, and I'm not gonna tell people that. And I feel as if older people at your age, that's your business. We love you here in the community, and I just want to let you know that. And we want to wish you a happy birthday. So anybody on here that watches this video, make sure that you go and let Shannon know happy birthday. Solid 4-string bend. Lemonade Kid from AC. Again, like these because they're more designed under old golden age kind of stuff. Now, we have Lomax. Any of the Atlas ones, I'm trying to put together that whole. There wasn't like a ton, so let's be real. Legends of the DC Universe. This is a prequel, sort of, to the Crisis ones. So, and hey, talking about Crisis, how about some Love Diaries? Yeah, I dream of love. Darn him, Jim Darrow, ruining our evening. Yes, that's right. She's thinking about the other man. Yep. Charlton goodness there and here. Love and romance. Now, I will say this. Those were books I never would have picked up as a kid. And that'd make you have a little too much sugar in your tank when I was a kid to me. So, but now, you know, it's something that we just understand now as older adults. Now we have Legend of Lobo, real Lobo. And this one, Shannon and Rod, Dr. Silver Age, was having a conversation about this. And this is number 6 of Lancelot Link. That's right. Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp. If you've ever watched this show, it is absolutely a trip. You cannot even fathom that anybody put together a set of chimps to make a show like this. But that's what I love about the 60s and 70s and cartoons and kid shows. And then this beauty from Land of the Giants. That's right. Now this guy, he actually was on Burke's Law. He played one of the detectives. I loved Burke's Law, which is the black and white show. And then they did a modern day version during like the 80s where his son was with him. But I thought he played a real cool character on there. The show was made by the same guy that put together Charlie's Angels and everything. So you can guess that it was, about a guy that was always getting checks. So now we have The Last Starfighter. Again, went to the movies and seen that, so it's more than worth it to have. Number 2 and number 3. Again, looks like Luke Skywalker flying off to fight there, so now here comes a series of books I'm probably going to be purging. So let's just show these. Lady Death. I'm going to get rid of that. I have the card series and stuff like that, but not as interested in the comics as it is. I'm going to show these, even though I find them to be interesting. I'm going to get rid of the Lady Mechanica. Yes, I find the character to be interesting. I find the time period to be kind of a neat. I would love to find it more in a graphic kind of novel, so I can just read everything up and through. But a lot of these different free comic book day, which again, you see certain ones reprint, reappear. And even though, like I said, the story seems to be really interesting, the time period, the whole 9 yards, it takes space. And like I said, to have a graphic novel would probably be a better deal. And I'll look for those kind of things. Now, this female character I won't be getting rid of. This is the Lady Rawhide. Now, she is connected to our boy Zorro. So, number 1 of 5. Number 2 of 5. And I still need to get number 3, which was always the big one they did at the time. Number 4 of 5. 4 of 5. And 5 of 5. And then she did, let's see, this one's part 2 of the Scarlet Fever one, Other People's Blood. Oh, this might be, yeah. Other People's Blood, that's part 1. So that's 1 and 2 right there. So, not getting rid of those. Like I said, Lady Rawhide is one of those, connects to one of my favorites too, because I used to watch Zorro as a kid. I love Zorro. Now, if you remember this DC series, again, Legends went on 6 parts. John Bernhardt right there. I used to have multiples of most of these, and I got rid of all the multiples, so now I'm down to what I consider the best of the ones I had left. And now I can read through that entire miniseries as it goes. And yes, you could probably find a omnibus or graphic novel of this and other stuff and really lead another set of books out of your collection, but that's not really the point I'm making about the other. Is just certain things just it doesn't mean enough to me to keep in my collection for that reason. Now, really, it really was a really cool movie. I do remember briefly the TV series. Different people, of course, played in it. But it lasted so short, and you can't find it anywhere. Um, Logan's Run was just a fun, really neat movie about a dystopian future kind of thing. And everybody, almost everybody who follows my channel would already be sent to carousel and we'd all be dead now. So I'm just glad they didn't come up with that one. And there's Farrah Fawcett fighting over there. If you remember, I think she is the girl in that room. I'm trying to remember if it's there or the other. I'm trying to remember where she comes in. Number 5. And again, that one has the backstory with Thanos. I think it is. I think that's the backstory with Thanos that was in. Could have bought a CGC graded one for $60 that was in pretty good shape at one of the comic book stores I went into years ago. I probably should have bought it then just to have one for that. But and number 7. I don't care about slabs and stuff, but just to have it, knowing that it would be it wasn't that bad of a price at the time. Now, how many of you actually remember collecting the Long Shot series? Now, this goes past my time frame, but at the same time, this book always was one of those that I thought was just such a neat read at the time as a kid. Yeah, number 6. Now, I was a teenager reading it, and like I said, him coming from this bizarre world that he come from. Now, this next set of all this looks to be Marvel Classic Comics. Now, I went down the road to try to finish this. I'm almost done with these. There's number 2, number 3, number 4. This is the way that someone like me actually gets a chance to read classic literature. Number 5, number 6, and some great art on these. Now, this one, it was the Gulliver cartoon that I actually remember more than anything that I watched, where the young Gulliver actually was looking for his father on the island and met the Lilliputians, and they were an animated series. Now, this is one from that was in my original collection. Is a beautiful cover, and I know people don't think about it, but Injun Joe is just, the way, I know we can see up Tom Sawyer's nose, but my point is, if you look, it's a beautiful cover. Injun Joe just looks like he's just about to he's so vicious looking in his attack. And if you look at, Tom, he's making his run with the bats in front of him, just the way the bats are. It's such a cool, and let me ask you, if you're as old as me, it was in repeats whenever I watched it, but it come out late 60s. There was the New Adventures of Huck Finn. It was an animated / live show with, I've watched it on the YouTube a couple of times, but I loved that show. That got me interested in, Tom Sawyer. So, and there's Moby Dick at number 8. Number 9. And this is Bram Stoker's Dracula, not Marvel's in per se, in the sense of that. Red Badge of Courage. There's some of these I needed to pull their stickers and other crap off. I'm still working on rebagging and boarding some of these. This is one of the ones that was in my childhood collection. Love the Three Musketeers. Again, banana splits. Played a great Three Musketeers cartoon on it. So as an end result, it became one of the ones that I really enjoyed. Number 13, Last of the Mohicans. 14, good War of the Worlds going on there. Number 15, Treasure Island. 16, Ivanhoe. 17, The Count of Monte Cristo. And that was a really good movie. I thought that was actually done well. I'm trying to remember who was in it at that time, but it was a good movie, though. It's been done a number of times, but my point is the last one, I think, or the last one, The Odyssey. 19 is Robinson Crusoe. Here's another one done as Mary Shelley did it. This is Frankenstein at 20. Here is Master of the World, number 21. 22, Food of the Gods. 23, Moonstone. 24, She. This is another one of those that crossed the Universal monster line, and this would be The Invisible Man. Yeah, that's a really cool cover. And we have number 27 with Kidnapped. 28, The Pit and the Pendulum. 29, Prisoner of Zenda. 30, The Arabian Nights. And the good part about these is you just had to buy the one book. So when I had the Three Musketeers and the Tom Sawyer one as a kid, none of the others ended up coming out on my spinner rack. So as an end result, those were ones I read and read them a number of times, but just didn't need to. I didn't need anything else. It was good then. Number 32, White Fang. 33, Prince and the Pauper. Another favorite of mine in this way is Robin Hood. Gotta love Robin Hood. Number 34. I think this is where I think it's 35 that I'm missing, because here's 36, A Christmas Carol. And then finally, this is a Marvel movie special. This is H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Mordo. And that's it. So what'd you think? You see my Purge, the giveaway ones that I'm giving to my brother, and then the books I'm keeping. So it did thin down a few things this time around in this box. This is box number 4. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully maybe it'll spur your desire to purge some of your collection. Maybe not. But hopefully you enjoyed it. I appreciate everybody for watching. Have a good one.